What's going on, everybody? Eric Lindquist at Stokastic here on the Odd Chopper channel, coming to you with another edition of Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks in the NBA streets. Hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell goes a long way for me on this video, goes a long way for you. That way you become apprised whenever great content is going live here in our little neck of the YouTube woods. Why do I say in the NBA streets now? Well, friends, if you did not know, now you know. MLB Lindy's officially live, recording it as soon as we get done here with NBA. Broke down the very first, it counts for the regular season. The Los Angeles Dodgers, the San Diego Padres over in Korea, broke down the ballpark, broke down the pitching matchups, broke down everything for you. So check out MLB Lindy's. It is live. If you enjoyed us last season, you reaped some rewards. It was an absolute smash fest, especially if you joined me just during that postseason run. It was ridiculous stuff. Overall, kept track of everything for the people over on X. Again, I'll be reposting everything, posting it over there. Follow me over at Eric Lindquist over on X. Happy to be doing so. But we do have 5 games in the association here. Rudy Gobert ends up getting ruled out. I upgraded it to a lock when his points prop dropped from 14.5, 13.5. Locked it. He didn't play basketball. So now we got to worry about him playing basketball on Tuesday. That's adding a whole nother layer to this entire slate. But 5 games, I do have a lock from it. A little bit nervous because 2 unders did show up here on the card. And again, there's news that can break away from these type of plays, which always gets me a little bit flummoxed here doing Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. But again, Odd Chopper, using the positive EV tool, those are the kind of things you'll see a lot of unders popping on the screen because a lot of times people are pushing those up to the top of the board. So, anywho, we'll break it all down here for you. Producer Jacob's on hand. Hi, Producer Jacob. You ready for MLB? Good to see you for 180 straight days. Yay. Let's get to the picks. Our first little foray into the slate, Charlotte taking on Orlando here. 13-point favorites. 13-point favorites. Wild times to be seeing Orlando as 13-point favorites ever. I know that it's catching me a little off guard. It's like, well, is Shaq putting on a uniform? Are we back in the 90s? What is going on? But alas, Franz Wagner, Paulo Banchero confirmed very good at basketball. Now, Jonathan Isaac off the injury report for this one. Everybody healthy on the Orlando side, the healthiest team that we have in the entire NBA besides the Golden State Warriors entering Monday night. Hopefully they can come through our lock. By the way, tons of closing line value. -4, closes at -7. I'm feeling good about that one. Game's about to tip off, so let's get to it. But looking at the Charlotte side, we kind of know all of the usual suspects there. Bryce McGowan, Seth Curry, LaMelo Ball, Cody Martin. Those are all your guys who are out. Everybody else is a known quantity. And I think if you've seen my shows by now, you know when you have confirmed known quantities and there's no uncertainties, hard to really mine out any value because books are going to project these kind of games, these kind of spots almost perfectly. I will say, I do have this total at 201. I think that's on the fringe of playable. I'm not going to be betting it, but I'm going to call it the lean here for the people. Sometimes I put lean like when it's going to be something that would be playable. But you're talking about an Orlando team that at home has just been playing ridiculous. Well, they play good defense everywhere. It doesn't matter if they're at home or on the road. But what I'm looking at is the adjusted defensive rating improvement from last season to this season with the Orlando Magic. Really like what they've done. They are the 4th best defensive team in the entire NBA right now. Now, offensively, they're 24th. They got to figure out some things. Paulo Banchero, Franz Wagner, Jalen Suggs can't do everything. Gary Harris just sits in the corner and shoots threes from time to time. You got nothing other than, well, Jonathan Isaac's really good on both sides of the floor, but Jonathan Isaac can't play enough to really matter in that capacity on the offensive side. He's not going to move the adjusted offensive rating in 22, 24 minutes a night, but we'll say that I do think that the under is the prudent play here. 204. If I was feeling a little bit ballsier, I would fire it up. Don't really think we have to fire it up here. We got 5 games. I've got to play from everything else outside of the Denver-Minnesota game. We'll talk about why. Some uncertainty that's existing there. But let's get to 3 plays in a row starting now. Houston and Washington up here next. 5.5. There are 6.5s already in the marketplace, but you got Caesars, you got DraftKings sitting at 5.5 firm here at the beginning. -115. So want to throw it out there. 1 point here when you're talking 5.5 to 6.5. Worth that kind of number. So more than happy to just be jumping to the 5.5 side. We'll talk about why here. Washington, Kyle Kuzma, now questionable here for this game. He has been just, sat out the last one. You had an absolute barren team on Sunday taking on the Boston Celtics, and Jason Tatum just obliterated them into the sun. Yes, we ended up betting that one there on Sunday. That felt good. But Jordan Poole, Justin Champagny now. There's another Champagny out there. Corey Kispert, Rashawn Holmes. Probably looking at Patrick Baldwin, Mr. Baldwin, joining the fray there at power forward. Just insanity how bad this Washington team is. There's no size. There's no accountability and coaching. There's Jordan Poole out there, good 35-40% usage, probably more than likely in these kind of spots. You have Jules Bernard, who I'm rotating for some minutes. Got Vukcevic, a little bit different. Jared Butler, Johnny Davis. What are we even looking at for this Washington roster? This is absurd. I look at the Houston side, and it's just more clear cut. Like Alperen Sengun, yeah, he's out for the season. Steven Adams, he'll probably never play a game for Houston. We'll see. Tari Eason out for the season as well. But you got much better NBA quality players between Fred VanVleet, Jabari Smith, Jalen Green, who's been playing some really good ball of late, Amin Thompson, who I like his young energy off the bench, Jock Landale, should be able to annihilate on the interior against Rashawn Holmes and company. Well, there's no other company. Basically, Rashawn Holmes is your only true center. How is this 5.5? This is going to be 7.5, 8, 8.5 at close. Even with Kyle Kuzma, again, this is kind of like a straddled number. So you have 5.5, 6.5 that exist, mainly because it's like, well, the Kyle Kuzma news, where's the market going to move? We're going to take advantage. Houston minus 5.5. A lot of favorites on the card recently, but for good reason. Second half NBA, some teams playing for winning. Houston still kind of trying to win. Washington surely doesn't give a shit. So here you go. Houston minus 5.5. Let's talk odd chopper, shall we? Friends, incredible deal we have going here right now for March Madness. Yes, the tournament is live. My Iowa State Cyclones are a 2 seed. It is a beautiful time to be alive, but we have everything you could know and love here for the NCAA tournament available to you on the Positive EV tool, both in props and in plays. Yes, you heard me. Props and plays for $1 for your first week using promo code MADNESS, MADNESS. Look at that, I can spell. You go to the video description box below, you click on it, and trust me, you're going to want to be in that premium Discord, which also comes along for free there for your first week of OS Premium, because Ben Raza and Matt Kajeski are going to be in there talking Thursday through Sunday. I am going to be betting a lot of games and a lot of dudes that I have never heard of, because again, a market-based approach works no matter what market you're looking at. You want to look at all the sports books available in your state. And hey, if you don't have sports books available in your state, fantasy stuff, the fantasy optimizer, whether it's Prize Picks, Underdog, Better, doesn't matter. That's all available to you for $1 using the fantasy optimizer. Take advantage of this now. Promo code MADNESS. It's going to go away here at March 21st. So very little time left here, friends. Jump on in. You get that first week. If you enjoy it, come on back. But $1 for your first week of OS Premium. Promo code MADNESS. Back to the NBA picks. My New Orleans Pelicans. Yeah, I'm going to say my New Orleans Pelicans. I did not tell you this. I don't know when I would have told you this, but I did bet them at 30-1 to win the Western Conference the other day, and it was a very strange feeling. First off, let's talk through why I did such a thing. First, wings. Come the NBA playoffs, you look at Tatum and Brown on the Boston side. You look at previous Golden State Warrior championship teams. Andrew Wiggins gets acquired, plays amazing two-way ball. Wings matter so much come playoff time. They can guard multiple positions. You don't have to worry about them getting stranded a la Rudy Gobert in the pick and roll, where it's like, well, shit, I got to guard the rim. Well, I should probably contest this guy shooting from three in my face, because you're only facing good teams at that point. But that's number one. I love the wings of Herb Jones, Trey Murphy. I always have, I always will. And now we're starting to see number two, the fruition of Zion Williamson. I really like what we've seen from Zion over the course of the last few weeks. He's starting to be assertive on the offensive end. They've been playing him at point a lot of the time over CJ McCollum, where CJ McCollum hasn't closed a ton of games. They do bring Jose Alvarado. Again, so many configurations, but Zion, ball handling duties, has looked fantastic. Third, and I do have to say this, Western Conference, I know Denver is fantastic, and Jokic, it's going to be difficult to really look at New Orleans with Jonas Valanciunas and Larry Nance and say, hey, they're going to go outperform them. But when you can play as good a defense as they can against every other position on the floor by taking CJ McCollum off, putting Jose Alvarado on, and having Murphy with Williamson, and possibly playing him at the 5, I like this configuration. Oh, Herb Jones, the main opponent, of course, but I like the configuration for them at 30-1. It's a value thing for sure. Do I think Denver is still the rightful favorite in the West? Sure. Do I think Phoenix is dangerous if they have the opportunity to get a healthy Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal, and Devin Booker to the finish line? I sure do. But 26-1, still consider jumping in here on the Pelicans for that Western Conference spot. Now, I gave you a lot of nice information. I'm going to tell you why I'm also shorting Zion Williamson here in this spot. But let's start with the Brooklyn news. I guess that kind of makes sense. Dorian Finney-Smith, only guy questionable. He is a starter for this team. You'd be looking at Cam Johnson inserted into that starting lineup, no doubts about it. Nick Claxton, Dennis Schroeder, Cam Thomas, Mikal Bridges. Yeah, Cam Johnson, the easy one-for-one swap there between Dorian Finney-Smith. Pretty clean, pretty easy. We move on. Let's talk about why I'm shorting Zion Williamson here. Brooklyn, they play with absolutely no pace, and it's gotten worse, and it's gotten worse, and it's gotten worse. They're at 23rd in adjusted pace, but here's the thing, 97.8 possessions per 48 minutes. They're at 96.2 over the course of the last month. They have been playing so damn slow. Dennis Schroeder looking good. The San Antonio game obviously lost in overtime. There are some things that bolster it, some matchups that have kind of changed the pace, but overall, they know who they are. They're playing in half-court sets. They're playing a ton of defense and, obviously trying to get a dude a job or do I really don't know what Brooklyn's doing. But Zion Williamson, not going to benefit here in terms of pace. You also got a pretty healthy basketball team on the New Orleans Pelicans side of things. Herb Jones healthy, Larry Nance off the injury report, and Cody Zeller could join them at any point in time here, although he doesn't really play, so that doesn't really matter. But Zion Williamson, I've got him in for 35 minutes, and I keep looking at his baseline. It's like, have I done something wrong? Have I done something wrong? I have him at 36. His opening line is 39.5. This is borderline lock stuff. The only reason that I'm not going to do it is the Pelicans play so many non-competitive games because they've been blowing a lot of teams out of the water. When they get blown out, they just kind of throw in the towel early. While from the beginning of this season until now, how many blowouts New Orleans been a part of? I know this is a lot of analysis for an under on Zion, but the under, Zion. There's an under I like next. In the next game, it's going to be even more inconvenient for you. You're not going to like it. But Zion, 39.5 PRA opening number, 38.5 a lot of places as it stands right now. I think either of those are just fine. If you're listening to me jumping in at 38.5, more than happy to be firing up that half unit. Yes, half unit. That's how lean like lock works. Lean, thinking about betting, like usually something half a unit to a unit. And a lock, a unit or more. That is the configuration. Let's get to the lock, shall we? The Dallas Mavericks, 8-point favorites, taking on San Antonio. San Antonio went into Austin, Texas, played an unbelievably fun basketball game against Brooklyn. I didn't know what to expect turning that on Sunday. It was better than anything you ever could have imagined. Victor Wembanyama is so damn special. Devin Vassell hitting some shots, doing some cool things. And Brooklyn, Dennis Schroeder, he's a dude, he's a dog. Guy we just covered in the last game there, of course. Well, I didn't cover him, but covered his team. Anywho, very enjoyable basketball game. Victor Wembanyama putting up stat lines that don't even make sense at this point. The youngest player ever to put up 30, 15, 7, and 7. Again, the 7 being the block component of things. Dumbest stuff that we're ever going to see. I absolutely love Victor Wembanyama. I also love the under for his PRA here in this spot. Let's go through it because Dallas has been doing a little bit of scheming. I think it's a little bit quiet. Nikola Jokic did not necessarily have a breakout opportunity there. Kyrie Irving hits the left-handed hook shot. It's absurd. Crowd goes wild. But did you watch that game? If you did not, let me talk to you about what Dallas is doing. Doubling the center position, having opportunities to really let anybody else on the floor beat them. And they knew that they could get some closeouts, knew some opportunities where it's like, hey, let's up the variance of it, make this team shoot more threes. Michael Porter Jr., Jamal Murray, we'll let somebody else beat us. I think it's so clear-cut that you're going to play him, Victor Wembanyama, so similar to what Jokic just had happen to him. And it's two true centers going back and forth for split time, that being Derek Lively and starter Daniel Gafford right now. Yeah. You're seeing Lively play better defense. You're seeing Gafford also when he's not having to play 30 minutes a game with Washington, even though there were a lot of times he didn't get to that allotment. You're seeing 24 and 24 and just split duty in and off the court and then double teams routinely, whether it's Maxi Kleber on the floor, whether it's Josh Green on the floor, and then especially PJ Washington, the main guy who is coming in and doing a lot of the doubling. I think we're going to see something similar. And you do have Vassell, you do have Keldon Johnson, you do have a lot of shooters surrounding it. Again, talking more ball than data here at the get-go. But now is where it gets fun here. You have 39.5, and what happens is that sometimes the marketplace gets a little bit inflated coming off of an overtime festivity against a Brooklyn team that was pretty slow-paced. And this opening number for Wembanyama, because I was on it, was 34.5. Closed at 37.5, and now the opener for his PRA in this one is 39.5. I am locking the under. I think it makes all the sense in all the land to be under at his given rates against a team that is this good with nearly a double-digit spread. This is not Brooklyn coming to town. Now, 234.5 total, you could say, Eric, this outweighs it. No, there is a ceiling on Victor Wembanyama's minutes. He will not play over 33, 34 the rest of the way home. And knowing that that right tail doesn't exist, when you start projecting out these numbers and you start plugging them into your sheets, 39.5 should be 35. I have him for 35 in this spot. So again, I try not to get in the habit of going to too many lesses because one, OddsShopper identifies them better. Two, I know it's the night before where there's going to be injury news that breaks, but if you feel as confident as I do in this play, fire it up now. Take the closing line value because I think this has to dip. He's not moving north of 40 playing this many minutes. Now, he's absurd. I love Victor Wembanyama so much, but I love good bets more. This takes the cake. And this, friends, takes the cake in terms of offers that you have from these sports books right now. Bet365, if you have it available in one of your states, in North Carolina, you just got it available to you. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. It's also there in Colorado, Indiana, Iowa, New Jersey, Ohio, Virginia, Arizona, and Kentucky. Oh, and Louisiana, of course, that's for sure. Friends, check out Bet365 right now. You have an opportunity to go to the video description box below. Bet $5. Yes, just $5 on anything. That's cheaper than like damn near anything you can get at McDonald's right now. I had an Egg McMuffin, hash browns, a Diet Coke. It was like $8.50. What are we even doing here anymore, people in America? When you get $5, it's like just a little bit more than half of my Egg McMuffin meal. To get $150 in bonus bets, you take advantage of it. So go to the video description box below. If you're in one of those states, especially shouting out Arizona and North Carolina, the two newest states, sign up, bet $5, get $150 in bonus bets at a reputable book, one of the most internationally renowned books that exists. Bet365. If you're 21 and over, 18 and over in the state of Kentucky. If you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. To the last game of the night we go. Going out with a little bit of a dud, little bit of a thud, I don't know. Denver taking on Minnesota. Minnesota going to Utah, flying back, playing basketball in Minnesota here. Minnesota's been awesome at home. There's no doubt about it. But Jokic, probably looking for a little bit of redemption here, don't you think? Just a little bit of redemption. You do have Zeke Naji questionable. Doesn't really matter to me. I'm not going to even factor it into my analysis. But I got to factor this one in. Rudy Gobert. Talked about him yesterday. I'm pretty sure he's going to play. I know he sat out with the rib contusion last game. I'm pretty sure he's going to play still. He did not play against Utah. If he's not going to play against Utah, maybe you just leave him in Minnesota. Why did he even travel? To try to put him on bubble wrap. Put the ribs and I don't know. Maybe they're saving him up here too because they have an opportunity to actually utilize him in every single way, shape, and form. You got Jokic, another true center on the other side. Very important matchup here. Obviously, Rudy Gobert taking them on, but Denver being 4-point favorites. A lot of that has to do with Karl Anthony Towns not being available. Now, that being said, I like getting 4 here if Minnesota is going to be playing this at full strength. First off, yes, they are the team on the back-to-back, and we try not to get in the habit of betting too many of these back-to-backs for specific teams, especially when you're missing a key piece like Karl Anthony Towns. Condenses out your rotation. Playing rotational guys more minutes that don't normally see more minutes might take more of a toll on them. Yes, they are professional athletes, but the NBA, pretty demanding amongst a lot of sports. Second off, I have no idea about Rudy Gobert. I can't pull the trigger here without knowing Rudy Gobert's status. I will try to react to the news. I think you should try to react to the news because, again, you go to dunks and threes. You look at the adjusted net rating in Denver, plus 4.7. Yay. Minnesota, plus 6.3. It gets the downgrade. I take the plus-minus for Karl Anthony Towns off the floor. Should be net neutral. You'd be looking at basically this being a pick-em in some capacity. I think we're just going to stay away more than likely, but try to react to the news if you can. I would love to get 4.5 with Mr. Rudy Gobert in. Doubt we're going to get that opportunity, but we'll find out. Going to call it a lean as we get out of here, don't forget to check out MLB Lindy. It's going to be great stuff. Let's get ourselves out of here. See you Wednesday. And that does it for another edition of Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. You know what to do. Go to that comment section below. Let me know your favorite plays that exist on the board for this insane little Tuesday we have. 5-gamer. Pretty nifty, pretty easy. Gonna have the premium Discord fired up there. Go sign up for Odd Chopper down below. Again, promo code. What was I gonna say? Pro code? No, that's not a thing. Promo code Madness, friends. Promo code Madness, March Madness. It is in the air. It's beautiful. Check out the Odd Chopper premium tools just for this. The parlay builder in conjunction with the positive EV tool. If you're in a non-legal state, you have the opportunity to check out the fantasy optimizer. So much goodness, so little time. 4 days of madness, Thursday through Sunday. Take advantage of that for a week. Let us know what you think. Again, $1 using promo code Madness. Thank you, producer Jacob. Let's go record a little MLB action, shall we? Be on the lookout for that, friends. If you enjoyed last year's offerings, I think you did. Until next time, friends, I'm Eric Lindquist. Best of luck in the NBA streets on Tuesday.